Story time, everybody. This is the story of my pole barn and how it came to look like it does currently, and all the many iterations it's been through over the years since my father first built it back in 1988. So I remember when I was about 8, getting dropped off by the bus and walking down the driveway and looking out to the right into the field and noticing some site work had been done, and this was the beginning of the pole barn that I didn't know was about to be built. And the first pole barn was about 32 by 36, and it was open on one side and had a gravel floor, and there wasn't much else to it besides that. After the first year, my dad decided to close it in and pour slab, and on the short side he put a big door, and on the long side he put a little small door there for just one car. He was a car collector and started collecting around 1986, and every couple years he acquired a new car and eventually needed to expand the pole barn as it was, so he doubled it and basically put the same thing off the front end of that building. Only this was a stick-built structure on a slab, and as you can see, it doubled the size. He moved the doors around, and that's what I started with when I took over the homestead. So I had moved into this structure. I didn't have a basement in the house, so this became the catch-all for everything that I moved from my old house. I decided I need a wood shop because I was into woodworking pretty heavy at the time, and I spent a couple months moving my stuff around in order to allow me to carve out a section of this building to build a wall and have a wood shop where I could contain my dust and anything that we had kicked up by my woodworking. And that included building a big set of shelves at the back where I could house my raw materials. I insulated this. I built a wall, and you can see the double door there that blocked off one room from the next. And this took a long time, and my children helped me. I reused all the old kitchen cabinets from the kitchen that I grew up in, so it's kind of neat that they ended up in this space. But the other room was atrocious, and I had a boat in there, I had some of my dad's cars in there, and all of our belongings that should have ended up in a basement of some sorts. But you can see my workbenches taking place. This was how it looked when it was set up for woodworking. The other room was still a bit of a hole, and I needed to finish it off because I wanted to display all of the cool things that my dad had collected over the years that weren't necessarily cars, but were gas and oil related. My grandfather had owned a Gulf gas station back in the 40s, and I think late 40s is when that got sold. So there was a lot of things that came from that. But we moved the pool table out there. That hood covers the electrical panel. My dad's name was John, and we always referred to this building as the car barn, so that became what it's been known as. And then three-wheelers started to show up in the picture, and we decided, not because of the three-wheelers, but because of the camper that we had and the boat, that we needed an addition. So we cut down some trees and made way for a 40 by 60 addition with a little connector portion. My brother-in-law did the site work. A local company came in and did the construction on the pole barn. It was a very exciting time. We had a big mess to clean up after we cut those trees, but we got them down, and the new structure was framed, and it was looking very good. And just like my father, I didn't have concrete poured at first. That came a year later after the piggy bank had rebounded a little bit, and it was a complete game changer, and I can't imagine living without it like I did. But we eventually stained the outside to match the existing building. We're so thankful for the concrete too, and it was just one thing after another. We built this shelf to give us some storage, but also access to an attic space in the trusses. I had repurposed my shelves in my shop to give us room to store three-wheeler parts handy within my shop. this bar you may or may not have noticed in my pictures, but that was built by my uncle back in the 70s. He had it in a camp that eventually got repurposed, so I obtained this and refinished it. I redid the shelves, I put a refrigerator in there and used an epoxy system to redo the bar top, and it came out wonderfully, and very thankful for that. I did have a leak somewhere where that epoxy kept going, but eventually it filled up and stopped. But the one thing I think I wanted more than anything was to get some blacktop out to my pole barn. So we started the process, which involved moving the gas pumps in that my dad had restored and had put out at each corner. And they were a mess after 20 years of being in their current position. So we moved them in. I built some footings, some concrete bases for them to sit on once the pavement came. And in the process of moving them, I cleaned them out, and boy, what a mess that was. There was a lot of debris on them. But here's the concrete bases I had done. They were just kind of quickie, something to put the pavement around, nothing super duper special, but they were good. And then we had the area regraded, and a nice company nearby came and they resurfaced our whole driveway, as well as paving out to my pole barn. We had them do my neighbor's house as well, which is their driveway right there. And they did a fantastic job. The old driveway was starting to break up a little bit, so this was definitely something that needed to happen. You could see how bad it looked. And in addition to that, we had to saw cut the driveway over the years to run some wires, to run some plumbing. It was really time for this to happen. So they re-edged everything. They did all the prep work they needed to. Like I said, they regraded out at my pole barn. You can see the pumps are gone, the piers are there. They fixed the grading going out, and this was, I think, the day before it all happened. So from here on out, we'll let the video speak for itself. Whatever it takes. Here's what I'm very excited about, and I'm gonna get as much footage of this happening as I can, but this is all graded with a couple things left to do. But tomorrow this becomes asphalt, blacktop, all the way out to my mailbox and all the way to my road into my house, asphalt. And I am very excited about that. This is gonna make my life a lot easier, a lot less tracking dust into my workspaces and my storage spaces. So we are very excited. You might have noticed the gas pumps that normally reside here and there, and there's two more on the other end. They're inside the shop right now. They've been out for probably close to 20 years without any cleaning whatsoever. A change of light bulbs every so often as needed, but the spiders and pine needles and all that combined made them extremely messy, and we are going to clean them up before we put them out on these pedestals that I just poured, and it's really going to set this whole space off. So stay tuned for that video. So here we are. Driveway is paved. I'm here at the barn, but we've got this mess to clean up. So 20 some years worth of debris stuck to the wall. A little bit of overflow from the pavers that we can clean up. But more importantly, these gas pumps need some attention. So obviously that's the one that goes to the wall. This one faces the front. Might look to see if I can find a new sticker for the front. These were restored probably 20 years ago or so from by my dad, and they are long overdue for some attention. So we're gonna vacuum out the cobwebs and wipe it down with some warm soapy water and see what we can do. Here we go. Yesterday we cleaned up these two pumps. They came out nice. They are definitely showing some age. Got a couple repairs to make on this side of the building, but tonight we're gonna work on the two pumps that go down here. And the driveway is still looking very nice. We're going to be doing the Phillips 66 pump next. I've already swept off the wall. Could use a little better stiff bristle action. I just vacuumed off a bunch of the pine needles and cobwebs. I should have left that and got that, but this is what we're going to be cleaning up. Long overdue for a wipe down, just that sort of stuff. These ones weren't as dirty as the other ones, but they all need some love. Okay, the other two have been cleaned inside and out. Light bulbs replaced, put back on their pedestals. And how this finishes off the driveway so nicely. Looking forward to many memories made on this piece of pavement for many years going forward. Yep, they're dirty. And that's how it all went down, from a three-sided pole barn structure to a complicated three-wheeler storage facility with paved roads and connecting asphalt driveways all the way around. We've done a lot of work and we're very proud of it and we're thankful for it. This whole process has made me realize that the barn needs to be restained, and we'll get to all that one step at a time. As my father liked to say, Rome wasn't built in a day, and all we can keep doing is just moving forward. But we have got a great foundation. We're standing on my father's shoulders, and we are very thankful for all the things that we've been able to accomplish, and the collection grows. And if you haven't seen the video from last week where we lined up all these three-wheelers, you need to check that out. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the updated videos. I thank you so much for watching and have a great night.
Start it up.